What helped me shed some weight over the last year was focusing on eating higher protein while staying low carb. It's not always easy to reach my daily protein goal, so today I'm going to share with you some easy high protein snacks. These are things that I can eat in between meals or even as part of a meal as a way to get more protein. Some are savory, some are sweet. Most of these you can find on TikTok. Well, I mean Instagram, because let's face it, I'm old. But it all starts with stocking my pantry and fridge with low carb, high protein foods. And to help with that, I use Thrive Market, who's my sponsor for today's video. Oh, and I see that my regular grocery order is here too. Thrive Market is my go-to spot to shop for protein-rich and low-carb ingredients. They actually make eating healthy so easy, convenient, and affordable since it's an online membership-based grocery store where I can shop for thousands of best-selling organic foods and natural products that are priced well below retail prices. Like my favorite low-carb nut milk made from macadamia nuts, I save over $2 a carton when I purchase this through Thrive Market. And since I've spent over $49 on this order, it ships free. And I didn't even have to tip like I do with my regular grocery order. I try to aim for at least 100 grams of protein a day, but ideally I want to consume around 120 since I do work out 4 to 5 days a week doing some weight training. With Thrive, they carry so many high protein and keto low carb friendly products to help me reach my protein intake goals, from jerkies and protein powders, but they also have low carb options too, like noodles and sugar-free syrup. I'm going to use this to make a sweet and spicy crunchy snack later on. When I go to make an order, I'll filter the products either by lifestyle, product type, or just plug in my favorite brand. Thrive Market makes it so simple to find products that will fit my high protein, low carb lifestyle. They have a monthly membership option for $12 a month, or you can do what I do, which is to sign up for the yearly membership option, which is only $59.95. That's only like $5 a month. With the money saved from your orders, you can make back the annual membership in savings, and if you don't, Thrive Market will credit the difference. This order, I saved over $33. Click the link in the description box or go to thrivemarket.com/KetoFocus to get 30% off of your first order, plus a free gift worth up to $60 when you join Thrive Market today. In addition to my 30% off discount, Thrive is running a Summer's Essentials sale this week, so you don't want to miss out on any of these summer savings. I was excited to see Thrive carry this almond butter powder. It's similar to the peanut butter powder that you see a lot of fitness influencers use, but this one is made from almonds, so it's less carbs. It's still high in protein and it actually has less fat as well. I'm going to use this in my first high protein snack recipe. Actually, this is something that I make for breakfast sometimes since it's so easy to make. Just add around a half a cup of cottage cheese to a bowl, and I'm using this brand because it's pretty low in carbs. There's only 3 grams of carbs in a half cup and 14 grams of protein. Then I like to add some fresh berries. I'm using strawberries today. I need around 2 medium-sized ones, but these ones were massive. I'm really not sure what farmers are feeding the plants these days. After a quick wash, I slice these up into my bowl, and then now let's mix up some of that almond butter powder. I want to use around 2 tablespoons of the powder, which will give me 6 grams of protein and only 2 carbs. I add in some water to reconstitute it, and you just want to add enough to give it a thick, runny texture just so I can drizzle this all over and it will mix easy into the cottage cheese. Just like that. Drizzle it all over, and then finally top it with a few tablespoons of sliced almonds and a sprinkle of chia seeds for some omega-3s, plus it just looks better. This was so good, and it's filling with 23 grams of protein and around 7 net carbs. It's sweet, tangy, crunchy, and delicious. Remember that sugar-free maple syrup that I picked up? Well, I want to use it to make something sweet, spicy, and crunchy using edamame. Edamame is high in protein, so it's a good ingredient if you're vegan or vegetarian and you struggle to get protein into your diet. Each 2/3 cup serving has 10 grams of protein and only 2 net carbs. And I find it easiest just to buy a bag of the shelled edamame. That way I'm not having to push through all the beans one at a time, wasting time. I was about ready to add in some olive oil when I realized that I probably should defrost these beans first since they're still frozen. I didn't want my ingredients that I was adding to freeze on top of them. So just popping them in the microwave for a few minutes did the trick. And now we're ready for the remaining ingredients, which is 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and then the sugar-free maple syrup. You'll need around 3 tablespoons. Then some salt, a half a teaspoon, and to give it that spicy kick, red pepper flakes, which is about a half a teaspoon, and then some cayenne pepper, and I used around 1/4 teaspoon. Stir that all together to evenly coat, and I'm gonna air fry these, but you could bake these in the oven. Air fryer is just a lot quicker. Add them to your basket or tray, and then you can actually crowd these because we are gonna shake them halfway through, so all of them will get evenly crispy. These will go in the air fryer at 400 degrees for 5 minutes first, then give it a shake to make sure all the sides are getting crisp up and crunchy, and then we'll cook it for another 5 minutes. And I really enjoyed these. In fact, I actually thought they could have used a little bit more sweetness. So I think next time I make them, I'm gonna add another tablespoon or 2 of the sugar-free maple syrup to sweeten them up a tad bit more. Next up, I thought I would make these cheese puffs that I saw on Instagram. You only need 4 ingredients: eggs, frozen shredded cheddar cheese, salt, and nutritional yeast. Actually, that ingredient is optional. This recipe surprised me because I thought it sounded disgusting when I learned that we were whipping up 3 egg whites with a sprinkling of salt until stiff peaks formed, and then adding about a cup of frozen shredded cheddar cheese to it. Just seems so strange. Then you plop these on a parchment-lined tray, and you can make smaller puffs, but that was just too much effort for me to try and pipe out little bits of it like she did in the video. So I just made larger ones. Then you top it with nutritional yeast. And if you haven't heard of this ingredient before, it's used in a lot of vegan cooking to give a cheesy flavor to something, but it's dairy-free. Although this recipe isn't dairy-free because we're adding in the shredded cheese, but you could probably use some vegan or dairy-free shredded cheese in its place. These will bake at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 to 30 minutes or until they start to get golden brown on top and they're set. I was really nervous to try these, but I was so glad that I did because they turned out really good. In fact, they remind me of the Cheddar Bay biscuits that Red Lobster makes. And the macros are so good. If I were to eat this entire lot of puffs, so 12 puffs like I made here, it would give me 39 grams of protein and only 4 net carbs. That's a lot to eat in one sitting, so I usually thought that like 3, maybe 4 was plenty for me. Another recipe I saw on Instagram were these crunchy churro bites. I thought this was so clever, using pasta as a base and then air frying it to get it crunchy and shaking it up with some cinnamon sugar to make it like a churro flavor. Obviously, I had to make this low carb and high protein, so I used my favorite low carb pasta by this brand. In the video, he used a spiral shaped pasta, but I wanted to go with a ziti shape because I thought it looked more like a churro. Start by cooking up the noodles according to the package instructions by boiling them for around 4 minutes in some water. These noodles are high in protein, low in carb because they're made from lupini beans. So each serving has around 20 grams of protein and 6 net carbs. After the noodles have softened, you drain the water out and then spread them on an air fryer tray or basket. And I'm sure you could just cook these in the oven too if you don't have an air fryer. These will air fry at 390 degrees. The guy said for 15 minutes and shaking it after every 4 to 5 minutes. But I found that mine were done at around 8 minutes. To give them that cinnamon sugar flavor, the guy just tossed them up with a mixture of sugar and cinnamon. I felt that my crispy pasta looked a little too dry, so to hold on to the sweet coating, I melted about a tablespoon of butter and then poured that in the pasta. Then I added the sugar-free sweetener, which was around 2 or 3 tablespoons, and then half a teaspoon of cinnamon. After stirring to coat these, I actually didn't find that these tasted anything like a churro. I was kind of disappointed. And that was even after adding more butter and more sweetener and cinnamon. I just kept tasting them, hoping that they're magically going to provide that flavor that I was longing for, but it didn't happen. I'm now wondering if the reason why he used the spiral-shaped pasta was so that it could hold on to that cinnamon sugary mixture a little bit better. So if you do decide to make these, I suggest going with a spiral-shaped pasta. Next, I want to try this strawberry panna cotta that I saw on Instagram. This recipe only uses 2 ingredients. The first is the sugar-free gel dessert that I picked up from Thrive Market. This is actually a vegan jello. It doesn't contain gelatin at all, and it uses stevia and erythritol as a sweetener, so it's 0 carbs. I mix up a packet of this with a cup of boiling water, and then to give it that creamy panna cotta texture, we're gonna use yogurt. This brand is by Too Good. It's my favorite low-carb yogurt. Each 3/4 of a cup serving has 4 net carbs and 13 grams of protein. This is actually another recipe that didn't go as planned. My first attempt, I added the 1.5 cups of cold yogurt straight into the dissolved gel mixture. And since the yogurt was cold, the gel solidified right away and it left my mixture with these chunks of jello inside. So I didn't get that smooth, creamy, velvety appearance that I was going for with like a panna cotta should be. So I redid it, but this time I used yogurt that was left out at room temperature in hopes that it wouldn't solidify into chunks, which it didn't get chunky, but it did separate it. So again, I don't know what's wrong with the texture. The only thing I can think of is because I didn't use a gelatin-based Jell-O. I think if you use sugar-free Jell-O, it would probably work, but I know a lot of people don't like to use sugar-free Jell-O just because of the types of sweeteners they have in them. Anyway, this gets refrigerated for around 2 or 3 hours or until it's set, so it'll thicken up some more. And after dividing it into 3 portions, each portion is around 9 grams of protein and 3 net carbs. Even though this didn't give me the texture that I was hoping for, it was still delicious. And I'll definitely make this again as a simple high-protein dessert. Another protein-packed treat idea I got from Shailene Johnson's page, which is this simple 4-ingredient peanut butter mousse. Except we're not going to use peanut butter, we're using almond butter. I'm going to use that almond butter powder that I got. I started with 3 tablespoons of powder, and then I added in about a tablespoon of sugar-free sweetener, and then some water. You want to add enough water until it mixes up into a pancake batter-like consistency. Then stir in a scoop of protein powder, and this is the brand that I'm using. It's one that's made from bone broth, and it's 0 carbs. And then for more protein, we're going to use yogurt again. You're going to need around 1.5 cups of yogurt. You can use Greek yogurt if your store doesn't carry this brand. Just look for a plain Greek yogurt that's the lowest in carbs. I used a vanilla yogurt, and I noticed that after mixing this and tasting it, all I could taste was vanilla. So I added another tablespoon of the almond butter powder. It helped a little bit, but I wasn't getting that nutty flavor that I really wanted in this recipe. So I decided just to drizzle the finished product with a little bit of real almond butter, and that helped a lot. This turned out pretty good, and it has 20 grams of protein, 4 net carbs, and that was after I dished it into 3 servings. If you're wanting more ideas on some higher protein meals that you can make, including what I've been doing to shred those extra pounds, then click right here. And remember to check out Thrive Market if you're looking for some higher protein snack options. Just go to thrivemarket.com/KetoFocus to get 30% off of your first order, plus a free gift that's worth up to $60 when you join Thrive Market today.